Hi, my name is Jeff H. Sipe from PracticeInterviews.com, where we offer practice interviews, negotiation strategy, and we have a course coming out really soon. In today's video, we want to focus on one resume item only, the summary. Forget everything else you've seen, read, heard about resumes. This is the one key item we want to focus on and actually throw out the resume. Forget about the document for a second and think about your audience, because if we're not thinking about our audience before we get into this document, we can forget about it. It's already over. And only a handful of people are going to watch this video. People are going to start bouncing right now because resumes are boring and videos and articles on resumes are boring. But you need to correlate this and think the same about your audience. They're going to get bored really quickly. So what's the one simple tip and trick for keeping them engaged? A bulleted summary. And so we're going to go through all this pretty high level, and then stay tuned to the end. I'm going to share my screen and just show you a few simple tips and tricks that are really going to help you have success. If you like my content, please like. If you have any comments, please comment below. And if you like my overall content, please subscribe. So we're going to go right back in item one, know your audience, right back to what I mentioned before. I have done other videos on this. I even wrote an article on this, but let's just pause for a moment. How many seconds do you believe your resume gets looked at for? By a hiring manager, recruiter, anybody? Do we think it's 60 seconds? Do we think it's 30 seconds? Do we think it's 10 seconds? It's probably about 3 seconds. So maybe at ABC Company or XYZ Corp, your resume gets a 10-second review, a 15-second review, because they don't have an influx of resumes coming in. But at these elite premier companies, you are going to get a few seconds. Millions of people apply for these companies every year. So understanding this point is critical, because if we think about our audience being really, really busy and not having a lot of time to dig into the weeds of tons of resumes, then in a few seconds, we're trying to capture their attention so that they will spend more time, so that they'll go past that 3-second mark. So item 2, format. Where does your summary come in? Really, really basic. And we'll show this in the screen share. It's right under your name, email address, phone number, LinkedIn, etc. So the number one piece and key piece of information that you need to understand about the summary is that it's bulleted. Why? Bullets jump off the page. If you're looking, or anybody gives you advice on creating a summary that's not bulleted, it's bad advice. My eyes are going to go fuzzy. I have 3 seconds. So in those 3 seconds, the words need to jump off the page. So sentence format, paragraph format, it doesn't work. No bullets, no job. Item 3, what to say. So I want you to really think about specific skills with absolutely no fluff. Drop the adjectives. They're not helpful. They're basically just weak modifiers. Drop generic concepts like hard worker or team player. I expect those skills from anybody that I hire in any role. And remember, from a formatting perspective, less is more. No bullet should go over one line. Again, that defeats the purpose. I want to see very, very high level concepts, and I want it to be super simplistic, but also very specific. Item 4 is your go-to summary. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to imagine that I'm a cloud engineer. It's casts a very, very wide net. It's very simplistic for us. So as a cloud engineer, or anybody in any role, this is my go-to summary. These are the key skills, strengths, competencies that I think would be important for me to land any role. It's just a really nice to create one summary that's like your go-to. You go back to those items, because rarely when we go and do a job-specific resume are we going to remove all those bullets. So we create our original resume, go-to bullets. Great segue into item 5, which is resume by position. This scares people, but simplistically, the only change we're going to make is in those summary bullets. And maybe we have 6 and we change out 3 and we keep 3. For example, we're going to go and drill heavily into the job description to see what they need and see what skills maybe we didn't have in our go-to resume, our default resume, but we actually have those skills that the job is requiring. So we'll dive right into the job description to show you how to do that. So let's flip over. Let's go into item 6 and do that screen share and show you how we're really going to go about this. Okay, this is our original resume, and I actually want you to title it something like this. Something that's really going to call to your attention, oh boy, I really need to make sure that I'm making a copy of this, because ideally throughout your career you'll have that shell resume that you might want to update, but you'll make lots of copies. So just make sure it screams out at you. You could even put something in here just to block yourself and stop yourself from editing something. You really want to make a copy of it. So all I did was I took this shell resume. This is from our website, so you can download this at practiceinterviews.com, and I will put this link in the YouTube description. But this is what I want you to be thinking about. Just your skill, strength, or competency. And I listed 5 here, and we'll focus on somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 7 bullets. So this sticks with our original resume. I just wanted to show you this shell. So again, remember, we're thinking about a cloud engineer. So I wanted to highlight a few items that were important. I'm AWS certified. I have analytical system design, architecture, and data migrations utilizing both AWS and GCP. I understand data warehousing, data lakes, technical presentation experience, including C-level presentations, and 5 years of experience delivering cloud solutions to external clients. As I think about my skill set as a cloud engineer, these are some items. Now, of course, we can always be tweaking this, playing around with this, but these are just some core concepts that, for me as a cloud engineer, I get excited about these skills. I think they're really valid and really going to have an impact. So then we flip over. We create this title for this position. So we're going to call it resume. We'll date it, have the organization, and then the specific title. Now, the order of this stuff, it doesn't really matter, but I think that all these details are important to an extent. And obviously having resume in here is helpful. Just when you search through your documents, if you're like me, you have thousands of documents. So this can be really helpful to just find it really easily. So I didn't change anything yet. So now let's imagine we're looking at this role and that we've gone through the job description exercise. Now, you don't need to do this to update your resume, but if you're really interested in the role, again, I'll put a card up above to show you how to go through this exercise. So I have the hyperlink here so I could go into the role, but I've really cleaned this up. I've used a keyword finder to go through it. I've highlighted some key terms just that are jumping off the page that I think might be important. Obviously, this job description has a ton of specificity, so I've highlighted a lot in red. And then again, as you can see on the right, keywords and some themes I might want to be thinking through as I think through my summary. Okay, so let's dive into some of the updates we made. So from an updates perspective, you can see that I dropped AWS certified. Now, I don't necessarily want to drop that just because it's for a GCP role, but in this case I did. And then I also dropped AWS here because I really want to show them that I've done this utilizing GCP. Again, keeping in AWS, not going to be a bad thing. In the job description, it does have data warehousing and data lakes, so I kept that. It does talk about technical presentations, I kept that. And then just this experience of delivering cloud solutions to external clients is going to be really helpful. I added a few items. They really call out proof of concepts, so I want to mention that I've done over 50 proof of concepts and delivered those to clients. That's really valuable. One of the preferred qualifications was workflow solutions with SAP, so I've thrown that in there too. And then they had all these other technical items, and I'm just saying for the sake of argument that I have all these skills, which you might have as a cloud engineer. So I put all those in there, and it would be pretty clear that I pulled that from the job description, but I'm saying I have all those skills. So if I'm only taking a few seconds as the recruiter or hiring manager, the things that are going to pop off the page is GCP, data, presentation, proof of concept, SAP, and then these terms. My eyes can see all those terms in a few seconds. I'm going to pause and say, whoa, this is a person that has a lot of experience that interests me. And then I will start to scroll down into the experience section. education, and your overall technical summary. If you can make it as specific as this, you are going to have fantastic success. And remember, we made a couple edits up top and added a few items here and just went through the job description, and it didn't really take us a lot of time. Minimal effort for a maximum return. Okay, I hope that screen share helped. To sum up, it is just critical that we are really thinking about this from a simple and simplicity standpoint. Less is more. We're trying to know our audience and capture their attention really quickly. Get away from the weak modifiers, the simplistic terms. Let's dive right into specifics, show our audience what they need to know, and get them over that 3-second mark. I really hope this helps. Thanks so much.